jump online today to talk about why every yes is actually costing you. Why every yes is costing you. It's costing you in time, in energy, in money, in resources, in focus, and potentially costing you from actually achieving the progress that you want. So before I get there, let's just jump on over. We are live streaming. If you are watching this on YouTube, I would love you to subscribe to the channel. We are regularly putting a new content into this channel. You'll see there's a little bell there. If you can click that too, that will make sure that you get notice of the videos as we load them up. It would be great to see you across on YouTube. The other place you can connect with me is right down here on my Facebook group. This Facebook group, it will be evolving it actually over the next couple of days. You'll see a slight change there, but essentially this is going to become a collective of incredible business owners and entrepreneurs and those executives that are striving for more. It's where we're sharing business tips, tools, ideas, lots and lots of learning to ultimately let you grow and help you achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve. But if you are a business person that is interested in growth, is interested in owning your power, that is interested in unlocking way more profit into your business, then jump on over to that Facebook group. A whole heap of learning, content, and some awesome people to connect with in there. So hopefully we will see you there. Right, let's get on to this live stream. I'm just going to put up the chat. So if you are watching me on any of the channels, chat away, introduce yourself, as I'd love to connect and engage with you. Right, I'm just going to jump on over here. Going to turn on my live stream. It's checking its connection. Don't you just love that? And we are now live over on Instagram. We'll just give it a few seconds for our friends on Instagram to join us. Today, I'm talking to you about why every single yes actually has a cost. Why every single yes has a cost. And the reason I'm talking about why every yes is costing you is because yesterday I was running a coaching session for an awesome corporate client of mine. And what became apparent as we were talking was the significant amount of overwhelm that people were feeling. So of course they had goals and visions and dreams and KPIs to achieve to help them grow. But actually, when we got to the nuts and bolts of it, they were overwhelmed with a jam-packed calendar, a whole heap of to-do lists, and actually not having any time for personal growth, personal development, moving forward in any direction. How many of you are feeling like that? How many of you have goals and dreams, have absolute success measures that you're going for, whether it be more profit in your business, you're looking for more clients, you're looking for that career growth? How many of you have this big dream? And yet right here, right now, you might be feeling a little bit overwhelmed and, oh my God, Janine, I actually can't get round to it because my to-do list is out of control. My calendar is out of control. And I've actually got so much on because I said yes to so much. How many of you are that? You got too much on your plate. You're overwhelmed with all the commitments that you're trying to do. You've actually got no time to actually move forward and do the very things you should be doing to progress your business. And this got me thinking about, as I was on that coaching call, it got me thinking about how many of us are in the same position. How many of us are overwhelmed? How many of us are out of control? How many of us have big goals and dreams, but we're not actually moving forward? Here's the thing, right? What happens when we get into that situation is, and just for those of you that are watching this on YouTube, you'll be able to see this in the video or on LinkedIn or wherever. For my Instagram followers, I'll try and describe it as we go. So here's what's going on. There are two big things that get in the way for us in terms of making progress. The first one is we get in this point of massive fatigue. You know, we're fatigued, we're exhausted, we're busy with being busy, we're stretched in 101 directions, we're overwhelmed with the choice of what I should do first, second, or third. And that fatigue leads us into this place of overwhelm. The other thing that gets in the way is blame. So unconsciously, without us even thinking about it, we enter into this blame triangle, this triangle of blame. And the blame presents itself like this. We blame something else for our lack of progress, our lack of growth, our lack of development. It's the company's fault. It's my client's fault. It's the economy's fault. It's always something else's fault as to why we're not progressing. The other part of the triangle is it's someone else's fault. It's someone else's fault as to why I'm unable to get those leads, get that career growth, get that opportunity, move forward. And at worst, at the top of the triangle is it's our fault. We blame ourselves for our lack of progress. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not savvy enough. And all of that stuff gets in the way. So essentially what we have, if we're not careful, is fatigue of taking on too much, plus this element of blame that we can get into actually results in an incredible amount of stress, which stops us from making progress. So what we've got to do is we've got to replace the stress with, the fatigue with this feeling of we've actually got to reset our boundaries. We've got to reset boundaries. We've got to replace blame with a take back ownership. And ownership. I'm writing this for those of you watching me on Instagram. I'm actually currently writing on my iPad. So if you watch this back over Facebook or LinkedIn, you'll see it. But essentially what we've got to do is we've got to reset our boundaries. We've got to take back ownership, because those two things ensure that we're making momentum in terms of what it is that we're trying to do. That's what we've got to do. Easier said than done, right? Because actually what we do is we say yes to way too much stuff. We're saying yes to way too much stuff. And actually, if we want to make progress, hello, those of you that are watching me on Instagram, great to see you. Once again, if you're watching me on any of the social media channels where this is streaming, just introduce yourself, share a comment, it would be great. Today we're talking about how actually every single yes is costing you. Every single yes at the moment is fueling fatigue. Potentially it fuels blame, and fatigue plus blame put you in a place of stress where you're unable to gain momentum in your business. What we've got to do is we've got to replace fatigue with resetting boundaries. We've got to replace the blame with taking ownership, because when we reset boundaries and we take ownership, we're actually able to fuel momentum. But what gets in the way for so many business owners is we say yes too many times. We've got to learn to say no more. And yet those two letters seem to be the hardest word that we can actually say in business. Hey, Julie, wonderful to see you on Instagram. Big wave to you. Hello, Liz. We're talking today about how every yes is costing you. So here's the thing. I want you to think about what it is that you're trying to achieve. Where are you going? What goals do you have for your business or your career right now? And I just want you to think, let's just say 6 months ahead. Just think 6 months ahead. So we're talking, where are we at now? May, June, July, August, September, October. So by October, what do you want to achieve? What are you trying to do? Now, here's the thing. Thinking about what you're trying to do, every single one of those things costs you. It costs you in terms of focus. It costs you in terms of the energy that you've got to put in. Potentially, it costs you in terms of time, in terms of resources, in terms of energy. All of the yeses, all of the stuff that you've got to do is costing you. Hey, Katrina. Yes, I do remember you from yesterday's session. I was literally just talking about our session yesterday. So thinking about your goals, thinking about what you're trying to achieve by October, 6 months from now, what you have to do to get there, those things need you to put in focus, potentially time, energy, potentially money, and potentially resources. Everything that you do requires you to focus, time, energy, money, resources. So when we say yes to something that is not aligned to that direction that we're going in, every yes also costs you in time, in focus, in energy, potentially in money, and absolutely in some form of resource. So if you are saying yes to things that are not aligned to what it is that you absolutely need to do to make your boat go faster, to help you get closer to that goal, to help you become 1% better, to help you achieve that very thing that you have put in your plan to achieve. If you are saying yes to things that aren't aligned to that, it is costing you in time, money, resources, energy, and focus. It's taking time, money, energy, resources, and focus away from the very thing that you actually should be doing to move your business forward. This is why every yes that we say has a cost associated with it. Now, here's the thing. For all of us as business owners or as corporate executives that are leading teams, it's our responsibility to actually take the time to determine what we actually say yes to. And yet, as I said right at the beginning of this live stream, so many of us don't take that time. Instead, we say yes to every single opportunity that comes in. Instead, we say yes to every single meeting that we're invited to. Instead, we say yes to essentially following social media and commenting on stuff. Instead, we say yes to things that are costing us time, money, resources, energy, focus, but taking us away from the very thing that we should be doing. And our job as business owners and leaders is to make sure that we are focusing on the right thing. Now, I get it's easy to say. I've been in business, in my own business now for over 10 years. I've worked corporately for 20 years before that. I understand the challenge of every day being there and stuff's coming at you. But here's what I know to be true. What I know to be true is that those moments where I take time to get on that balcony and to get curious about the opportunity and to determine whether it's a yes or a no are the times when I make the right decisions. You cannot do everything. Your time is limited, your energy is limited, your resources are limited, your budgets are limited. You cannot do everything. So the job, the opportunity for all of us to move closer to what it is that we're trying to do is to take the moment to get clear on where we're saying yes and where we're saying no, because every yes has a cost. Now, let me give you an example. Steve Jobs, you know him, right? Do you know Steve Jobs? Pretty famous, set up, probably the technology that most of us use, definitely the technology I'm using today to stream to you. There's a wonderful story where he would hold blue sky strategy planning days with his team, and he'd literally go, okay, what are we going to do? What are we going to do over these next 12 months? And he'd get his team to post-it note ideas around the wall. He'd come back a few hours later and the wall would be covered in ideas. He'd say to them, we can't do all that stuff. Take half of them down. And he'd leave them to determine which half to take down. He'd come back in and he'd essentially repeat the process until the company had 3 things to focus on. And that focus literally rippled its way down every single business unit in Apple. It filtered its way down to people and their goals, and it absolutely ensured that people were focused on saying yes to the right stuff, yes to the stuff that actually fueled the achievement of those goals. If he can do it, we can do it. If you are feeling overwhelmed, if you are feeling out of control, if you are feeling like, oh my God, I've got so many options and choices to grow my business, I get it, right? We're living in a world of so much abundance. It's all there. I get that. However, if it is fueling the overwhelm, the out of control, the feeling of being stretched, you've got to slow down and you've actually got to get back in control of what you're saying yes to and what you're actually saying no to. So here's my suggestion for you today. The first thing I want you to do is to take a moment. Take a moment to think about what it is that you are actually trying to achieve. Take a moment to think about in 6 months' time or even by the end of the year, what that future looks like. If you and I were to actually sit down and have a conversation at Christmas, What would Christmas look like? What would it look like in terms of the stuff that you have done over these last 6 to 8 months that are really making you happy and going, yes, I did it, celebration, I've got more clients, I've grown my business, I've got more profit, I've got that career goal. What does it look like? Get really clear on that. Then I want you to think about, so get back into today and go, okay, looking at my heap of things that are in front of me as opportunities, what are the actual things that are critical for me to focus on right now to achieve that future state at the end of the year? What are the critical things? Is it that conversation? Is it that collaboration? Is it that social media post? Is it that learning? Is it that meeting? Is it that client? Like, get really, really clear on what are the things that you have to do to get to here. And then number 3, you've got to reset your boundaries and you've got to take back ownership. And what I advise my clients to do is we literally look at our to-do lists. We look at our calendar and we start saying no. We literally start taking things out that ultimately are costing us time, money, focus, energy, resources, that are costing us those things and that are taking our focus away from actually investing those very things into the stuff that's going to make our boat go quicker, help us get closer to that end goal. So, as I said, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling you've got too much going on, if you're juggling 100 balls, if you're feeling out of control and yet you've got goals, you've got dreams, you've got visions, you've got things you want to achieve, first of all, you've got to understand that you are saying yes to way too much stuff. And every single yes is costing you. It's costing you time, money, energy, focus, resources. It's costing you in something. It's costing you. If you're feeling like that, take a moment. Number 1, get really clear on what it is that you're trying to achieve. Get really clear on how you want to scale your business, get more clients, get more profit, get more sales, get more revenue, get that promotion. Get really clear on what that looks like. Secondly, take a moment to look at where you're at now and really go deep on what are the very things that I actually need to focus on. What are the very things I actually need to say yes to that are going to help me get closer quicker. Then the third thing is to reset your boundaries, to take back ownership and actually look at your calendar, look at your to-do list, look at those commitments and start getting really brutal and start saying no. Replace the yeses with a no. Now, I get some of you now might be going, but Janine, I can't. I've got clients, I've got managers, da, 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 da. That's another conversation and I'll cover that off later. But for now, get clear on the stuff that you've already said yes to that actually should be a no and get rid of it. And moving forward, before you say yes, take a moment to pause. Take a moment to pause and actually go thinking about my goals, thinking about the success I want. Does this thing help me get closer to that goal? Or is it actually creating more space? Really love to hear your thoughts. Thank you, Facebook user. I'm sorry I can't say your name. I'll jump online later and find your comment. By the way, I am running an awesome free live training session next Wednesday, the 12th of May. Can't believe it's the 12th of May at 10 a.m. If you're interested, this live training session is really all about, I want to give you 3 awesome strategies to really elevate and accelerate your business. It's a free training session. I'm online for 90 minutes. If you're interested in registering, even if you can't make it, right, register, because I'll send you the recording. There's a workbook. There's a whole heap of things. If you're serious about actually getting back in control, about actually unlocking those growth opportunities, whether it be profit in terms of energy, profit in terms of money, profit in terms of momentum. If you are interested in either attending my free live training session next Wednesday at 10 a.m., or you want the recording, then just message me and say, yes, please. And I'll send you the link to register. And if you follow me on the socials, you'll see that popping up over the next few days. It's been wonderful to spend today with you, this last few minutes with you. Thank you to everyone that's joined, that's commented. If you're listening to this subsequently as a recording, comment away. Make sure you put your question there, because I will be checking the feed and I'll absolutely come back to you later. As I said, we are loading this up to YouTube. So jump on over to YouTube, join my channel there. There's a whole heap of stuff that I'm putting on there throughout the week. And I'd also love to see you over on my Facebook group, where we are building a collective of incredible entrepreneurs, business owners, corporate execs that are wanting to achieve success. Look forward to seeing you soon. I'll be back here in the next couple of days. And if you've got any questions at all, make sure to message me, Janine@janinegarner.com.au. I'll see you soon. Take care.